This video is going to be a demonstration of replacing the Keybed felts. This is a console piano that I'm demonstrating it on, and what you're seeing here is the inside of the piano, but it's the action's been removed. All the keys have been removed for the purpose of being able to get at the felts underneath the keys. There are three different felt things that can be replaced on a piano. The first is this cloth all the way in the back. It's called the Backrail Cloth or key cloth, and it's felt. When you replace that, this one is not as wide as most. It'll come in a wider strip. So if you've got a thin one like this, what you can do is cut the width of it so that it matches the width of the old felt. Okay. The other thing you want to match is the thickness. Okay. So usually it's going to be compressed from age, especially if it's been a very old piano and been used a lot. So try to measure the thickness on a part of the cloth that hasn't had the keys sitting in it for many years, because that'll generally show the original thickness of the cloth. And then when you go to glue the Backrail cloth on, what you want to do is in most cases you want to glue just the front edge, okay, the front edge of the cloth, because that way it's going to be softer sounding in the back. As the key goes down, the purpose for this cloth, or one of the purposes, is to soften the sound. So when the key comes back up on the front and goes back down on the back, that it makes a softer sound and you don't hear it. But the other purpose for not gluing the back is that if you have to shim up to make it a little bit higher, you've still got that open so that you can slip a shim underneath the length of the back of the Backrail cloth. Now next is the balance rail. This is the balance rail here. These are the balance rail pins. The keys sit on these, and then it pivots back and forth on this balance rail. Okay, the felts are slipped down over the tops of these balance rails, again to provide softness and quietness. But then underneath those felts, there's usually cardboard or paper punchings, and what those do is that helps regulate the height of the front of the key. Okay, so putting more punchings, either cardboard or paper, or even thicker felt on the balance rail, will raise the front of the key. So to regulate so that all your keys are level, you can add or subtract paper or cardboard punchings from underneath the felts. Make sure the paper and cardboard punchings go underneath the felt and not on top, like I've seen on a few occasions. Then the next one is the front rail felts. Okay, these are the front rail pins. This wood here is the front rail, and the front of the key sits on top of that. The ones back here are for the sharps. The ones up here are for the white keys. So in these felts, as well as the ones on the center rail, aren't glued down like the back rail. Okay, they just slip off, and just make sure when you replace them, you don't glue them down, because they just sit there without being glued. And so, and again, in most cases, you're going to find cardboard or paper punchings that are underneath the felt punchings, and what that does is that regulates how far the key is able to go down, or what's called key dip. And getting that key dip the correct amount is real crucial in making everything else in the action work properly. So when you're replacing, again, just the same as the back rail cloth, the balance rail felts and the front rail felts, you want to try to get as close or the same thickness as you had for the original. It might be a little bit tough to tell, especially with the front rail felts, if they've been played a lot and they're really compressed. But sometimes you can kind of get an edge that hasn't been pushed down a lot, or compacted a lot, and try to get a general idea of what the original thickness was. So that's those are the three Keybed felts that can be replaced. A very simple thing, the biggest thing is getting the correct height on the keys and the right key dip with the front rails. So very simple process. If you have any questions about that, feel free to contact us. Our website is howardpianoindustries.com.